Picture this. You are sitting at your laptop and you want to search for something you would rather nobody knew about. Maybe it is a surprise gift for someone in your household. Maybe it is a medical symptom you are embarrassed to discuss. Maybe it is just something you would prefer to keep private. So you do what millions of people do every single day. You open your browser, click on that familiar icon, the little spy figure with the hat and the turned-up collar, and a dark screen appears. A reassuring message tells you that you are now browsing privately. Your searches will not be saved. Your history will not be recorded. You feel a quiet sense of security settle over you. You are invisible now. You can search freely. Nobody is watching. You type your query into the search bar and hit enter, completely confident that this little window is your private sanctuary, sealed off from the rest of the digital world. And that confidence, that feeling of invisibility, is one of the most widespread and consequential illusions in the entire history of the internet. Because incognito mode does not make you invisible, not even close. And the gap between what most people believe it does and what it actually does is so large, so significant, that Google was sued over it, settled for an amount reported to be in the billions of dollars, and was forced to rewrite the very description that appears on that dark opening screen. The spy with the hat was never protecting you the way you thought. Welcome to Normal Things, Crazy Origins. Today we are uncovering the truth about incognito mode, what it actually does, what it never did, who can still see everything you do, and why one of the most trusted features in modern browsing was built on a fundamental misunderstanding that the industry allowed to persist for over a decade. To understand what incognito mode really is, you first have to understand what a browser actually stores when you use it normally. Every time you visit a website in a standard browser session, your browser is quietly building a detailed record of your activity. It saves your browsing history every URL you visited, in chronological order. It saves cookies, small files that websites deposit on your device to remember who you are, keep you logged in, and track your behavior across multiple sites. It saves your search queries in an autocomplete database, so that next time you start typing, it can predict what you are looking for. It caches images and page data locally on your device, so that pages you visit frequently load faster. It may save form data and passwords. Over time, this accumulated local record becomes an extraordinarily detailed portrait of your interests, habits, health concerns, shopping behavior, political leanings, and personal relationships, all stored directly on your device, readable by anyone with physical access to your computer or by software that can access those files. Incognito mode addresses exactly this problem, and only this problem. When you open an incognito window, your browser creates a temporary, isolated session. Within that session, it does not write your history to the permanent record. It does not save new cookies to your main cookie store. It does not add your searches to the autocomplete database. It does not cache pages locally. When you close the incognito window, all of that temporary session data is deleted. Your device is returned, locally, to the state it was in before you opened the window. If someone picks up your laptop after you close the incognito window and opens your browser history, they will not find what you searched for. If they look at your local cookie files, they will not find cookies from the sites you visited. In this very specific, very limited sense, incognito mode works exactly as described. It protects your local privacy on your own device from other people who might have physical access to that device. But here is what it does not do, and this is where the illusion begins. Incognito mode does nothing, absolutely nothing, to hide your activity from your internet service provider. Your ISP is the company that provides your internet connection. Every single data packet that travels from your device to any website on the internet passes through your ISP's infrastructure. They can see, and in many countries legally record, every website you visit, every query you send, every connection your device makes. Whether you are in a standard browser window or an incognito window makes no difference whatsoever to your ISP. The data travels through the same pipes. The traffic is visible in exactly the same way. In the United States, internet service providers are legally permitted to collect and sell browsing data to advertisers. Incognito mode provides zero protection against this. Now consider your employer or your school. If you are using a device connected to a corporate or institutional network, a work laptop, a school computer, a university Wi-Fi connection, the network administrator can see your traffic at the network level. A tool called a network monitor or a firewall log records every connection made through that network, regardless of what browser mode you are using. Opening incognito on a work computer and searching for something you do not want your employer to see is not safer than searching in a regular window. It may actually be worse, because the false confidence it provides might encourage you to search for things you would never risk searching for otherwise, while the network log captures everything regardless. Then there are the websites themselves. When you visit a website in incognito mode, that website still receives your IP address, the numerical identifier assigned to your internet connection by your ISP. Your IP address is not hidden by incognito mode. It is transmitted with every single request your browser makes. A website that wants to identify you does not need a cookie to do so. It can use your IP address. It can use a technique called browser fingerprinting, where it analyzes the unique combination of your browser version, your operating system, your screen resolution, your installed fonts, your time zone, and dozens of other technical characteristics that together create a profile so specific it can identify you with high accuracy even without any stored cookie. Advertisers and data brokers have been using browser fingerprinting for years, and it works just as effectively in incognito mode as it does in a standard window. If you are logged into your Google account in a regular tab and then open an incognito window and visit a site that uses Google's advertising network, Google systems can still associate that traffic with your account through your IP address and fingerprint. The window looks private. The data trail is not. This is precisely what led to the landmark lawsuit against Google. In 2020, a class action lawsuit was filed in the United States alleging that Google had systematically misled users about the privacy protections offered by Chrome's incognito mode, collecting data about users who believed they were browsing privately through Google Analytics, Google Ad Manager, and other tracking tools embedded across millions of websites. The lawsuit alleged that Google collected this data even when users had explicitly chosen to browse in incognito mode, and that the opening screen of incognito mode, which told users their activity might still be visible to websites they visit but did not clearly communicate the full extent of tracking, was fundamentally misleading. In December 2023, Google agreed to settle the lawsuit. The settlement, valued at approximately $5 billion, included a requirement that Google delete billions of data records collected from incognito users and rewrite the disclosure language shown when a user opens an incognito window. The updated language, which began appearing in 2024, is significantly more explicit about the limitations of incognito mode, specifically stating that your activity might still be visible to websites you visit, your employer or school, and your internet service provider. So where did this misunderstanding come from, and why did it persist for so long? Incognito mode was introduced by Google Chrome in 2008. Safari had introduced a similar private browsing feature slightly earlier, and other browsers quickly followed. The feature was originally designed with a genuine and legitimate purpose to allow people to use shared computers without leaving a local trace of their activity. A family sharing one home computer. A traveler using a library computer, an employee using a shared office machine. For these use cases, private browsing mode is genuinely useful and genuinely protective. The problem arose from the name, the iconography, and the marketing language surrounding the feature. The word incognito means in disguise, unrecognized, hidden. The spy icon with the hat and collar is a universal cultural symbol for invisibility and concealment. The opening screen used language like browse privately without explicitly distinguishing between local device privacy, which the feature delivers, and network or internet privacy, which it does not provide at all. Into this ambiguity rushed a very human psychological tendency. People hear what they want to hear. They wanted to believe that the dark window made them invisible. The icon reinforced that belief. Nobody from the browser companies rushed to correct it, because a feature that people believe makes them invisible is a feature they use and value, even if the belief is wrong. The consequences of this misunderstanding are not trivial. People have made significant decisions based on false confidence in incognito mode. Employees have searched for competitor job listings on work computers in incognito mode, not realizing their employer's network could see the traffic. People with medical anxieties have researched sensitive health conditions believing their searches were private, while their ISP logged every query. Individuals in countries with repressive governments have researched politically sensitive topics under the impression that incognito mode concealed their interest, when it concealed nothing beyond the local browser history. The gap between perceived protection and actual protection has had real consequences for real people. If genuine online privacy is what you are looking for, the tools that actually provide it are different and more demanding than a browser mode. A virtual private network, or VPN, encrypts your internet traffic and routes it through a server in another location, hiding your activity from your ISP and masking your IP address from the websites you visit, though you must then trust your VPN provider instead. The Tor browser routes your traffic through multiple encrypted relays around the world, making it extremely difficult to trace back to your original IP address, though it is significantly slower than standard browsing. These tools are not perfect, and no tool provides absolute invisibility online, but they address the actual mechanisms by which your browsing is observed, rather than simply deleting the record from your local hard drive. So the next time you click that spy icon and feel that quiet sense of security settle over you as the dark screen appears, you will know the full truth. Incognito mode is not a cloak of invisibility. It is a local eraser. It cleans up the trace on your own device and only your own device. Your ISP still sees you. Your network administrator still sees you. The websites still see you. The advertisers tracking you across those websites still see you. The window is private in the same way that closing your bedroom curtains is private. It stops the person in the next room from looking over your shoulder, but it does absolutely nothing about the satellite overhead. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden truth behind one of the most misunderstood features in modern technology, hit that like button, share this video with someone who genuinely believes incognito mode makes them invisible, and subscribe to Normal Things, Crazy Origins for more stories about the everyday digital world that are nothing like what you were told. Because sometimes the most important things to understand are the ones that feel like they are already explained. Thanks for watching.